Contributing to the nation's economic recovery with 2 consecutive quarters of growth, the agriculture, forestry and fishing sector is driving the increase in food production through major initiatives and policies implemented by the government. Reaping success is the Grow Smart, Eat Smart campaign, designed to ensure the nation's food security is a harvested priority. Welcome to another fresh and informative Thursday edition of Jamaica Magazine. We have an exciting package lined up for you, especially if you are interested in getting into the agriculture business. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after the news.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, October 20, 2022. Jamaica's export revenues increased by 2.3% for the first half of this calendar year when compared to the same period in 2021. Director General of the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin, Carol Coy, gave the update during Statin's quarterly media briefing on Tuesday. She revealed that total export revenues amounted to $801 million between January and June. $659.6 million of that amount was for domestic exports, a decline of 3.3%.
The decline in domestic exports was due to a 65.5% decline in the value of alumina exports.
This was buffered by a 32.2% increase in exports from the manufacturing industry, due largely to the performance of refined petroleum products. Conversely, total spending on imports for the first half of the year amounted to approximately $3.8 billion, 37.4% more than in the corresponding period of 2021.
This increase was largely attributable to higher imports of fuels and lubricants, raw materials, intermediate goods, and consumer goods, which went up by 70.7%, 28.5%, and 33.8% respectively.
Statin is also reporting positive news for Jamaica's employment performance so far this year. According to Statin's latest labor force survey, the country's unemployment rate for the quarter ending July declined by 1.9% over the same period in 2021.
The data showed that in July 2022, there were 89,700 unemployed persons, and this is 22,800 fewer compared to July 2021. The number of unemployed males decreased by 8,100. There was, however, a larger decline in the number of unemployed females of 14,700.
At the same time, the employed labor force increased by 4.4%, with the leading industry being real estate.
Employment in the real estate and renting business activities, which includes administrative and support service activities such as call centers, packaging, and general cleaning of building activities, increased by 21,700. Of this increase, females accounted for more than 3/4, 16,800.
The Mona Reservoir floating solar project in St. Andrew is expected to generate approximately $1 billion in annual savings for the National Water Commission, NWC. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Senator Matthew Samuda, says the savings should be realized from the pending finalization of wheeling rates. Wheeling is the transmission of electric energy from within an electrical grid to an electrical load outside the grid boundaries. Senator Samuda says the Commission will be wheeling 5 megawatts of solar-generated power to other NWC-qualified facilities between the hours of 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. He reveals that during the pilot phase, approximately 50 kilowatt-hours of power was generated, resulting in a 31% reduction in energy consumption at the Mona treatment plant for July 2022 compared to May's outturn.
The NWC will utilize 100% of its energy needs at the Mona treatment plant complex. This will result in savings at today's energy cost of approximately $35 million at that facility annually.
During a recent sitting of the Senate, the minister advised that these and other savings would be used to improve critical infrastructure and address supply issues. The Mona Reservoir Floating Solar Project pilot was officially launched by Prime Minister Andrew Holness in September, with total investment budgeted at $62.3 million. The House of Representatives has approved a further 60-day extension for the Zones of Special Operations, ZOSOs, in 7 areas across Jamaica. They are Denham Town in West Kingston, Norwood and Mount Salem in St. James, Greenwich Town, Parade Gardens and August Town in St. Andrew, and Savannah Lamar in Westmoreland. The resolutions for the extensions were moved by Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang during yesterday's sitting of the lower house. As at October 13, 2022, he says the 7 communities recorded reductions in all major crimes, including murder, for the period prior to and during the declaration of the respective ZOSOs. But the Security Minister argues that notwithstanding the progress made so far, the efforts must be continued for the desired outcomes to be fully realized.
These continuous improvement activities require further focused commitment and resources for immediate and long-term gains in order to ensure impact and sustainability.
He gave a breakdown of the expenditure associated with the zones. So far, $300 million has been spent in Mount Salem and $400 million in Denham Town, while the Greenwich Town and August Town zones have collectively received more than $350 million in capital expenditure.
Over the next 60 days, the respective social intervention committees will continue to drive the process on the ground to ensure irreversible transformation in these communities.
Dr. Chang adds that a development plan has been created for the Savannah Lamar zone, while the Social Intervention Committee is to finalize the work plan and confirm the required funding for Parade Gardens in the coming months. And as part of the interventions planned for Norwood, 20 micro-enterprises should receive grant assistance by December 31, adding to 30 that already benefited from a total $5.8 million in March. And finally, 23 more post offices are to be designated National Identification System (NIDS) enrollment centers alongside the Central Sorting Office (CSO). Chairman of the Postal Corporation of Jamaica, Professor Felix Akinladejo, gave the update during the recent reopening of the renovated CSO on South Camp Road.
National Identification System (NIDS) have forged a mutually beneficial partnership which will ensure to the benefit of our stakeholders. A number of strategically located post offices across the island will be designated as NIDS enrollment sites, and the renovated CSO is the first to be operationalized.
As part of this, he says, NIDS has been making significant financial contribution to the remodeling of post offices across the island. The pilot of the NIDS project is set to start later this year, and the CSO will serve as the model for other enrollment centers. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Nutritious food, succulent dishes, superior workmanship, and excellent service. Jamaica is on the go. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Let's harness the indomitable spirit of our most valued resource, our people. Let's support our local businesses. After all, buying Jamaican means building Jamaica.
Coming out of a pandemic that has disrupted the entire globe, government is making the right moves to ensure that Jamaica ramps up its agriculture production to meet global demand. Here's how these initiatives coming out of the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries are set to benefit you.
I am very proud of the work of the farmers last year. And I'm speaking production over domestic crops increased significantly from 697,679 tons in 2020 to 770,456 tons in 2021. That's reflecting a growth, Madam Speaker, of 10.4% in that period during a pandemic.
To further ensure food security, the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries has developed a strategy to advance the continuous output of food production.
Grow smart, eat smart, which builds on existing policies and programs of the ministry with a major thrust to drive us to eat more wholesome and nutritious foods. The campaign, Madam Speaker, will be launched jointly with the Ministry of Health. The Grow Smart, Eat Smart campaign will be launched jointly with the Ministry of Health and Wellness around the issues relating to nutrition.
Also, under the Grow Smart, Eat Smart theme is the Planting with a Purpose initiative.
Areas of bauxite lands that will not be mined are going to be used now to grow orchard crops as part of our food security initiative. We're going to focus on expanding our priority crops. We're going to focus our attention on land preparation. We're going to focus our attention on soil fertility so that small, medium, and large farmers will have the opportunity to advance their operations alike.
In the 2022-2023 financial year, the ministry will be establishing more partnerships with other arms of government.
We're focusing on driving the linkage with health, updating the current food and nutrition security policy to boost consumption of nutritious local foods.
The ministry will also be driving agriculture in primary and secondary schools at a cost of $15 million through the supply of vegetable garden packages.
We'll bind together with education, revamping the school gardens initiatives and providing inputs to our school feeding programs while launching also, Madam Speaker, the hydroponics pilot in high schools.
And as a joint initiative with the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, a Farm in Schools program is being proposed.
This initiative will complement the efforts of the school feeding program. Additionally, it will see the government adopting a national farm in school policy aimed at teaching students the dynamics of agriculture and fisheries and promoting nutritious eating from an early age.
To further secure crop development, Jamaica will pursue trade and investments with other countries and local companies. Among the areas of focus is corn development.
Guyana has confirmed its interest in intensifying bilateral cooperation with Jamaica.
There will also be the establishment of the wheat flour substitution program.
With support from the government of Cuba to target breadfruit and cassava to create gluten-free flour as a healthy alternative to wheat. And we will be advancing and expanding on the agri-parks across Jamaica.
From this advancement, the ministry aims to see an increase in mangoes, ackee, breadfruit, and avocados, as well as other crops for export. And to enhance farm and household cash flow, the ministry will again partner with the Food Agriculture Organization, FAO, to reduce post-harvest losses and extend produce shelf life.
And in this country, one of the greatest things holding us back in agriculture is our waste. This project, as I said, will be funded by the FAO, the tune of $38 million.
Another great challenge for agriculture is predatory larceny or farm theft. Beginning in September of this year, all cattle are required to be identified with ear tags and corresponding passport. A new app has also been launched to shape support and programs.
A rather mobile application, an automated biometric identification system.
Research and development is a critical link to food security in Jamaica, and as such, there will be a rehabilitation of select facilities across 5 research stations. Phase 2 of the rehabilitation and development of the ministry's research centers is set to commence at a cost of $5.4 billion. In addition to that, farmers will learn about the proper use of composting from the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA.
We'll be using local materials because it has been proven to promote higher yields of agricultural crops and also healthier soil structure.
The livestock sector had its challenges last year but has grown in production.
chicken meat production rebounded from a decline in 2020, and production moved from a little under 124,000 kilograms to moving towards 125,000 kilograms in 2021.
RADA is being restructured to offer better support to farmers. As part of that, farmers are to start receiving their new identification cards within 5 days. RADA will also launch a mobile app.
We'll be launching our mobile application with RADA to be used by farmers and the public to provide valuable digital information. And I want to commit to my colleagues and I want to commit to this country that we are going to do everything we can to make sure the restructuring of RADA is not just a phrase on paper. In the last year, the fisheries sector achieved a 20% increase in fisheries production, with marine capture fisheries increasing.
To help keep the sector vibrant, the ministry, through the National Fisheries Authority, aims to support the livelihood of over 200,000 fisherfolk while contributing 6% to agricultural GDP through the exportation from the fisheries industry. Building on the foundation already set, while establishing a strong, sustainable and resilient food secure country, in agriculture and fisheries, the mission is to grow smart and eat smart.
Up next, we turn our attention to finance matters concerning government's economic development policies. Take a look.
Is Jamaica going cashless? What is Link? What is a digital wallet? The Proceeds of Crime Act allows the Bank of Jamaica to permit the creation of accounts with low risk and less stringent Know Your Customer KYC requirements for opening bank accounts. The Central Bank Digital Currency, CBDC, JAMDEX is a legal tender that allows for the remote transfer of funds anywhere and anytime. Link is Jamaica's first digital wallet for sending and receiving money between users and can be accessed from your smartphone. Link is set to revolutionize the financial landscape. But is it safe? Hi, I'm Shaquille Rochester Shorter and welcome to Finance Matters. Today, I will be speaking with Mr. Vernon James, CEO of Link, about the future of the Jamaican economy through Link. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow the Ministry of Finance on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn to see all the episodes and highlights. Thanks for joining us today. So why must we trust Link?
Well, Link is affiliated with NCB, and the same standards, the same security standards that are behind the NCB internet banking, yes, and also the mobile app also are ingrained and designed in Link. So you can rest assured that we'll have that high level of security. But on top of that, Link is a wallet that has a biometric onboarding process. That means that we use either your face or your fingerprint, and that is supported by a PIN, a personal PIN that you use in case, you know, the biometric fails, you can use your PIN.
Okay.
So you have 2 levels of security, and that's the gold standard in the world right now about, you know, the digital onboarding process. So we're fairly proud. It's been a long journey to design that process and make it easy so that people can use it and get on and enjoy using Link. But you can rest assured that we've designed the highest standards of security in that process.
So there's facial recognition software and fingerprint.
Yes.
So tell us now.
And PIN.
And PIN. So tell us now about the recently launched ABM cash in, cash out feature.
Great. So this is an exciting feature for us. And the reason is, finally, anybody with a link account can go into an ABM. You don't have a bank account, you don't need a bank account. And you can add or withdraw money from your link account just using your phone. So no card necessary, you just use your phone. What it means is, for people who don't have bank accounts, can create a link account.
Okay.
You can now cash into your link account. You can pay your bills. You can top up. And in very short order, you can do so much more with it. I mean, what Link is an ecosystem. We are creating a network of customers that use it. And those customers can do their payments. They can transfer to other people. Very shortly, you'll be able to pay all merchants.
All merchants?
All merchants, or most of them. Let me not say all. You have small, medium, large.
Yes.
Small merchants you can pay through P2P. Medium, we're about to launch our merchant platform, which allows merchants to be able to, through a static QR code, they can have people pay them. And for large merchants, we're building an interface with
when you say
the
pay
point
them,
of sales.
They will see it immediately?
Yes. So, for example, you're going to a store and you have a QR code that the customer can scan. So, you agree on a price and so on. Okay. The customer can scan. That QR code is connected to the merchant, and the customer pays, and the payment goes directly to the merchant through Link. That is going to be launched fully, I would say, in the next couple of weeks.
I don't even know if I should be asking you this question, but based on all you're saying, do you see Jamaica going cashless like a Sweden or a United Kingdom?
Of course, why not? The world requires convenience, and the movement of value requires the removal of barriers. So in other words, when you spend cash, you always have to go and get that cash. Whether you go to an ABM or you go to a bank, you have to go and get the cash. In a digital world, the cash is always there. So the value of the cash is always there. You don't have to get it. So if you have a digital wallet, you have the value in your account, you can spend it right away, and you can move value between different people and different entities immediately. That has to be the future of the world, because the world moves at a very fast pace, and business is transacted very, very quickly, almost instantaneously in some cases, instantaneously in others. So the restriction that cash represents in terms of the need to have to go and get it, the security risk in getting it and so on, is properly solved by the digital methods of payment. So I do believe that is the future of money, and I believe is the future of banking and is the future of business, which is TFOB, that is Link.
Okay, quickly tell us how many subscribers Link have at this time, and what's the most used service on the platform?
All right, so we are 9 months old now since we launched. We're actually about nearly 2 years now. But we're 9 months since we launched to the public. We have 145,000 customers. And that has been quite a rapid growth. Every time we launch features, we'll have new customers that come on. Because they find other reasons to use the app. So we're very happy for where we are, and we're very happy for where we're going. So
I got an email recently to state that this is a new week. Here's a chance to win 10,000. Is that a legitimate email, and how can I, take advantage of this?
So every campaign that we run, we put it in our social media feeds. So whether you go on Instagram or Twitter and so on, you will see it. That's one way, probably the best way to verify that our campaigns are legitimate. But, Link is a living, breathing entity. So yes, we run these campaigns. I do recommend, though, that you do double check with our official social media handles, official social media accounts, to verify that the campaigns are legitimate. Because this is the world, there are many fake pages and so on that go up.
Yes.
Please verify them with our official accounts.
I hear you saying that Jamaicans can trust Link, but we have Jamaicans who will not trust digital currency. they will doubt it. What do you have to say to them?
Well, I can appreciate why they might have some distrust. I mean, cash has been in existence
Yes.
for
Ever.
thousands of years. So this is actually a pivotal moment in human history when we are moving from physical store of value, cash, gold, and those sorts of physical value stores, to digital stores. And you can tell from all the things that are happening in the space how rapidly the adoption of digital is taking place. The things that you can do using the digital channels exceed what you can do with the physical cash. So for example, you can shop online.
Yes.
I don't think they've created a method yet where you can physically go and shop in an online space.
Not that I'm aware
And more businesses are using the online platform to attract customers and to transact with customers. But just to go back to your question, more and more people are doing transactions digitally, online. So, if you want to do those sorts of transactions, you're really going to have to open up a sort of online or digital account. Why not use Link?
The future is digital. That's what I'm hearing from you, Mr. James.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so if I'm traveling overseas, can I leave my credit cards and depend on Link?
So that's a good question. So right now you can cash into Link using local debit and credit cards, or you can cash into Link, of course, using cash, or you can cash into Link from a transfer from another Link account holder. I would say watch the space. Right now, Link is limited to local cash-in methods.
Okay.
But Link has more regional and perhaps global expansion ideas. So watch the space. We'll as we launch new features and as we expand, then I suspect we may be able to launch some more international cash-in features.
Okay. So quickly before we go, tell us how we can find out more information about Link.
So you can go on our website. You can go on our Instagram page. It's a very vibrant page. We also do a lot of social media posting through Twitter.
Okay.
So I don't think you have to search for Link. Link is all over social media. Just follow us at Link Jamaica on Instagram or on Twitter. And you can also go on our website and you'll see all of our information there on all of the offers and all the features for our products.
Okay, thank you, Mr. James, for coming on our program and telling us why we need to trust Link. And thank you for joining us on this episode of Finance Matters. Remember to follow us on social media at MOF Jamaica and tune in next week as we continue to demystify the economic and fiscal policies and initiatives implemented by the government to empower Jamaicans as we chart a path to Jamaica's economic prosperity.
We salute our farmers, manufacturers and distributors for their exemplary contribution in working with the government to build Jamaica's resilience in local food production. We urge you to come on board and eat more local food. If you know someone who is interested in getting into the agriculture business, be sure to share the knowledge with them. Don't forget to find more content like this on our website, jis.gov.jm. You can also send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm. We would love to hear from you. Do join us again tomorrow on this same station for another informative show packaged just for you. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thank you so much for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.